Guys, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about how to contact your higher power. Watch this video. Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. If you're new, please click the little subscribe button and the bell to receive notification when I release new videos. And if you've been with me for a while, thank you so much and welcome back. Today, before we begin, I want to remind you that if you are a Patreon member, you will be getting worksheets on this topic as soon as this video releases. Also, I want to give a little shout out to Linda at North Italia. Thank you so much for coming up to me and introducing yourself. It really made my night. So thank you for that, and I hope to stay in touch. So in today's video, I want to dive into this, how to contact the higher power. So many people come to me and ask me this question, Candace, what is a higher power? Is it the inner child? Is it this? Is it that? What is it? How do we know? And one of the first things I like to say is, you can call it whatever you want to call it. Higher power, inner guidance, God, universe. I tend to call it source energy. It doesn't matter what religion you are or aren't. We all have a higher power that we're connected to. That, in my opinion, is the antidote for so much ego pain. Okay? And here's why. I'm really huge on doing the inner work and healing emotional wounds for one huge reason. We cannot know ourselves as divine. We cannot accept that or feel that or live like that or even know divine unless we know the truth of the self. Unless we get all the debris out of the way that has been placed on us from unhealed parents, from an emotionally, let's say, dark age of a society, from people who have not done their own work and projected it onto you, which is toxic shame, from people who are jealous of you, from places you feel you didn't fit, and so you start abandoning parts of yourself and adopting people-pleasing mechanisms and stuff like this to survive, because one of the biggest things we all have is this desire, this need, this deep biological need to be part of a tribe, to belong, and to fit in. We need that because if we don't, we're going to die. That's how big it feels. So when we're kids, if we're in environments that are less than perfect, we tend to do things to survive it. For instance, one of the biggest issues with connecting to your higher power is your inner critic. What the heck is the inner critic? Think about this. If you grow up with a critical mother, her voice is now inside your head because when you were criticized, no matter what you did, nothing was right, nothing was ever right, nothing would ever be enough. You decided there's just something wrong with you because you cannot please this person. So what you've adopted is this inner critic to make sure you're on yourself, your perfectionistic ways, to make sure you don't do things wrong. So you don't have to feel like you're wrong and there's something wrong with you. You don't have to feel that constant rejection of her when you're not doing it right. So you make yourself always wrong so that if someone else says that, you already got it. It doesn't hurt as much, right? Self-abandonment. Or you have the dad who's nowhere to be found, who doesn't really care. You feel unwanted. You feel not special, not important, and you don't get any attention. You're ignored. What you do then is start ignoring your own needs and desires. They're not important. No one will be able to reach them anyway or meet them anyway. Someone will make them wrong. Someone will make them not matter. So I make them not matter. And then we become codependent and then we live externally. Or we become the person that has to prove that I am worthy and I am good and I am enough to make up for the stuff that you're not. Or to make sure you can prove that that parent was wrong. Or you do the subconscious thing by recreating the pattern all the time to prove that the original parent was right, to have a sense of identity. The scariest thing is having uncertain identity. So as long as we can know what we are, we're better than knowing what we truly are. Know what we think we are is better than knowing what we truly are, right? So a lot of us walk around with these false identities, these false selves that are way below the potential of who you truly are, just to survive the environment. And then unfortunately what we do when we have these emotional wounds that feel so familiar and so false safe is we recreate that in the relationships that we get into that remind us of the critic in mom. Oh, this guy's critical too. Okay, this time I'm going to get it right. And we do this to band-aid the work we really are afraid to do. I had a client tell me this week, Candace, I don't want to go any deeper. I said, why not? She said, because I really don't want to look at the fact that it wasn't because of me in the first place. I really don't want to look at how painful, she said this. It will be too scary and painful to realize that my mom treated me so badly and it wasn't my fault. If it wasn't because of me, then why did she do that? And I'm going to tell you, the reason most people don't want to do the inner work is because they don't want to have to look at the truth. The truth that they decided was the truth is much easier to handle than the real truth. Because God forbid, the reason that you were treated incorrectly or not had your needs met had nothing to do with you. Then you have to feel powerless. Powerless to getting your needs met. At least if you can make it about you, and there's something wrong with you, or there's something I can improve on, at least I can make sense of why I was treated that way. At least I can have some false control in the whole situation. If I change and I'm better, then he'll be better, right? That's how these narcissistic relationships happen. We start to think that the reason I was treated the way I was treated, it was because of me. Then when other people start treating you bad, you're like, oh shit, that must be because of me too. So I'll just continue this pattern, and it gets worse and worse and worse. And then what you end up with is, fuck, I don't know what to do here. Is it not me? I don't know what to do. Because you're not taking that next step. That next step is, maybe it's not because of me at all. Maybe it never was. Therefore, I'm going to choose someone that treats me better. Ooh, that's weird. Let me tell you something. When you start to decide, I think I deserve better than what these wounds are telling me, you start to lift up into a new reality. You start to realize that this false idol you've had, this false idol of opinion, the God of opinion, I don't know who I am unless they approve of me. I don't know if I should do that unless they think I should. These gods of opinion are bigger to you than source energy, who says you're amazing no matter what, who says you were born worthy, who says you were born not deserving bad treatment. Your mom is the authority in your head, that inner critic. Until you get rid of the inner critic, until you get rid of the one that's ignoring you, those are your false gods. When you don't do the work and you don't get rid of those, you can never reach your higher source. When you do the work and you get rid of those voids, those places where divine energy is void, when you clear those out and realize you don't deserve that, you open up this reality of receiving from what I call Father, Mother, God. The way we all deserve to be treated, that unconditional energy. If you don't know what that feels like, this is what I like to say to new people. Look at your dog, look at your cat, look at your baby. That unconditional love that's coming back at you. See that, feel that. That's what you always deserved. That's what is there for you when you get rid of these false gods. The God of opinion, the God of the inner critic inside, the God of I don't matter, the God of status, I have to be this to matter, money, I have to have this to matter, beauty, I have to look like this to matter. When you get rid of the gods of all those things, you can let the true higher source, God, universe, in. It's a whole different reality. You start to have a whole different identity. Instead of living in the shadow of this false reality that you know yourself to be, you'll start to own this divine being that you've always been. So much more on this subject coming. If you guys are not on my newsletter, please make sure you click the link below so that you can get these blogs that I post on these subjects every single week. If you guys have never gone to my website, please check it out. We've got new offerings every single week. We are launching another course soon, and I'm excited for you guys to check it out. Also, if you feel that this would help anyone, please share it. Please make sure you're subscribed, and please make sure you're putting a big fat smile on your face, and I'll see you next week.